Hello, everyone. I'm Kristen O'Donnell, and we're going to do a short restorative practice today. If you have a blanket, if you have two blocks or two books that are the same height, or if you have a bolster or some sort of pillow or cushion, feel free to grab those for this practice. And if you don't have any of those things, that's okay too. We're going to start in our child shape. And so if you have any props with you, there's a few choices you can use for the props. If you'd like some cushioning for your legs and knees, you might bring a blanket to your mat so that your legs can rest on those. You might also choose to roll up a blanket and bring it underneath your ankles, or you might choose to bring it in between your knees. So you can sort of experiment with what you might like. My knees personally prefer a little bit of cushioning underneath them. So once you come to your seated shape, sitting on your feet, widening your legs, and then reaching for that pillow or cushion, you're gonna put it in between your legs. And if you need to bring some height to that pillow or cushion, if you have blocks or maybe have multiple pillows or cushions, you can bring them to rest. You can bring that cushion to rest on top of those. And then your upper body rests on that cushion. Arms can come down by your sides on either side. And you can let your head rest here. You can also bring a blanket for your head to rest on. If you have extra blankets, you can bring them underneath your arms as well. Taking a few moments to settle into this shape. And maybe starting to sink in to the props. Or if you don't have any props, sinking into the floor and into this shape. Maybe noticing if there's any tension in your body. And allowing that tension to release with each exhale. Inhale, noticing any tension in your body. And exhale, allowing that tension to release a little bit more. Letting the mat or any props you're using hold the full weight of your body. Letting your body sink into the props. Letting go of any need to hold on or control how you're resting in this shape. And allowing your body to fully release. Taking about another minute in this shape. If your cheek was resting on one side, feel free to rotate to the other side, bringing the other cheek to rest down on the floor of that bolster. And again, letting go of anything you might be holding on to. Releasing that into the mat and letting it flow away from your body. Taking another few breaths in this shape, and whenever you're ready, slowly starting to bring some movement into your body, maybe wiggling your fingers and slowly walking yourself up out of this shape. If you had props, moving them out of your way. And we'll move into a gentle twist. So if you do have props, if you have those two blocks, maybe taking one block on the highest setting at one end of your mat, and the other one on the middle setting a little bit in front of it. And then taking that bolster or pillow and resting it. My bolster's a little fat, but resting it on those blocks, which I might need to move the bottom block so it's a little lower for this specific bolster, but you might not need to for the one that you have or any pillows that you might have. If you want, you can also bring a blanket at the bottom of that bolster or pillow. And then whenever you're ready, bringing one hip to the edge of the bolster. I'm starting on my left side. Legs are bent. And then we'll start to walk the hands on either side of the bolster, bringing the upper body to rest on that bolster. If you want, you can bring a pillow for your head to rest on. You can also play around with your legs. You might extend your legs long. Maybe your legs stay bent. Taking a few moments in this shape. Letting yourself sink into the bolster or cushion. Again, letting any tension fully release from your body, allowing it to float into the props you're resting on, letting go. And if you don't have all these props, you might have at least a few pillows. You can stack a bunch of pillows to make this incline for your upper body to rest on. Letting go of any tension, releasing all of that from your body. Letting yourself sink into the props. And in your own time, slowly starting to push yourself back up to seated. And we'll find our way to the other side. So you might slowly come back to center. And then move, if you did start on your left side, so that your right hip is resting against the bolster or cushion. Hands are on either side of that bolster or cushion. And then letting your upper body rest. Letting your head rest down as well. And letting go of anything you're holding on to. I'm going to come out of this shape, but feel free to stay in it for a few more moments. Taking several breaths on that side of the shape, allowing your body to sink into the bolster or pillows, letting go of any tension you're feeling in your body, letting go of any holding that you feel going on in your body. Releasing as much as you need to. Noticing where there's tension in your body. And on each exhale, maybe letting it sink in to the mat. Sink into those pillows or bolster or whatever it is you're using. Letting them float away from your body. Letting go of all of that holding. And then in your own time, slowly coming up and making your way to seated. Now, keeping this set up, if you'd like, can bring your hips once again to that bolster or the pillows or whatever it is you're using, and start to rest your back against that bolster. Legs might be bent, they might be straight. If you'd like, you can bring the bottoms of your feet together into bound angle. You can also bring a blanket or a pillow underneath your head if you feel you need that. If you have extra pillows or blankets, You can also bring them underneath your hands on either side of your body. And letting go in this shape. Letting any tension in your body release. Letting it sink into the mat. Letting yourself let go of any holding you might be feeling in your body. And releasing everything. Taking as long or as little time in this shape as you might like. Feel free to stay in this shape until the end of class. Or if you'd like to move into a different shape for your rest, you can slowly choose to come out of this shape. So you can choose to stay here for your rest if you'd like, or you can choose to slowly come out. And then we'll make our way to our resting shape. And please know, this is a very shortened version of the restorative classes that I typically teach, where every shape is, we're only in it for a few minutes at a time. Normally, I like to keep people in the shapes for about 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes up to 10 minutes, depending on the shape. So feel free, if you like this practice, to do it on your own and to stay there as long as you like. So choosing to stay in that reclined shape if you'd like, or if not, you can find your way to the ground to lie on your back. There's a few choices for props in this shape. You can bring a blanket or a bolster to rest underneath your head. You can also choose to bring, if you have 2 blocks or books, to the bottom of your mat, maybe bringing a bolster or blanket on top, and then resting your feet on top of that so that your feet are slightly elevated off your mat. And another choice might be, if you have a block or bolster, a blanket or a bolster, you might choose to bring it underneath your knees. So cushioning the backs of your knees, and then finding your way to your lying down shape. If you have extra blankets, you can always bring them underneath your hands for extra support. And then whether you're in that reclined shape we just did, or whether you're in this lying down shape, you can allow your eyes to close, or maybe keeping a soft gaze in front of you. Maybe choosing to let go of anything you might be holding on to. Taking several breaths in this shape. Noticing how your body might be resting. Maybe noticing what parts of your body are resting on the floor. Maybe noticing what parts of your body might not be resting on the floor. Taking several minutes to sink into the shape, to allow yourself to let go of anything you're holding on to. Noticing where you're holding on to tension. Noticing where you can let go of a little bit more tension if you are holding on in some places of your body. And allowing yourself to release in your own time. Letting the mat or any props you're using hold the full weight of your body. Really allowing yourself to be held fully and completely by the floor, by your mat, by something other than yourself. You don't need to hold on anymore, and really allowing yourself to let go if you can. Feel free to stay here for as long as you want. I tend to leave people in this shape for 10 minutes, sometimes more. In the interest of time for this video, we'll start to make our way back to seated. So if you'd like, you can stay in that shape, whatever resting shape you chose. And thank you so much for joining me for this practice. If you'd like, you can bring your palms in front of your chest. May the light within me honor the light within you. Namaste.